I don't know if you can hear those birds in the background, but I feel like that meme where it's just typical you try and film something, and as soon as you start, the birds start chirping. So we're just going to go with it because, to be fair, I actually love the sound of the birds, and I'm rambling. Anyway, if you haven't been to my page before, my name is Alice, and I'm here just to bring you some yoga classes. This class that I'm bringing to you, I actually haven't planned. Got a little idea in my head. I should just call it the Film and Flow series. I have no idea how long this is going to be. Obviously, you'll know because the video will be up and it will be whatever length it is. So, I think let's start in a child's pose. If you've got a mat, great. If you don't, it's not the end of the world. Just make sure you're on a surface that's comfortable to you. If you've got blocks or equivalent to blocks, you may want to grab them because you may decide you need them. And straps, I doubt we'll need a strap, but if you think you might need one, then grab a strap as well. So your child's pose, we're going to have toes together, knees wide, and we're just going to reach the arms forwards, and we're going to allow ourselves to sink down towards the mat. I'll go down in a second, otherwise it will sound a bit weird with my microphone. If this is an uncomfortable position for you, there is alternatives to bring the knees and the feet together and also keep the arms at the sides of the body. You can also place a block underneath the forehead, or you can bring a block underneath your sit bones. So there are plenty of options here. So just taking your time to find that child's pose that works for you, settling into that child's pose and breathing in and out through the nose. And whilst you're here, just taking those breaths to arrive into your body. Just notice how your body is feeling today. Become aware of any tightness, any tension, and breathing into those areas of the body that might hold a little resistance. You can shift the pelvis side to side, maybe give the head a roll so you find a massage along the forehead. And then starting to take a little scan through the body. So just noticing the features on your face. So notice your eyes. Notice your cheeks. Notice your jaw. You might be clenching your jaw here. If you are, just try and relax. And then bringing yourself into the neck, into the shoulders. Again, you might be holding tension in the shoulders. Down into the ribs, in the lungs, into the belly. And allow the belly to fall either in between the legs or on top of the legs. And become aware of your pelvis. And then traveling down the legs towards the knees, through the shins and the calves, into the tops of the feet, to the ankles, and the toes. And then bringing yourself back up towards your shoulders as we travel down the arms, into the elbows, into the forearms, the wrists, and the fingers. And taking one more deep inhalation here, allow the ribs and the belly to expand. Exhale, side out through the mouth. One more in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And then on your next inhale, bringing yourself to all fours, spreading the fingers wide. Stacking the shoulders over the wrists and the pelvis over the knees. And find a gentle external rotation of the arms here. So the creases of the elbows start to point forwards. Drishti, or your gaze, comes between the thumbs. And we're finding a neutral spine here. On your next inhale, drop the belly down. Start to lift the eye line. Exhale as you press the ground away, round the back, chin to chest. Inhale to arch. Exhale to round. And taking this at your own pace. Inhaling as you arch. Exhaling as you round. Taking your final inhale. Exhale, and this time when you round the back, tuck the toes, and then start to send the pelvis up towards the sky into a downward facing dog. Feel free to take a little bend back into the knees and then extend the legs again. With the toes tucked, you might find a nice deep stretch in through the toe joint and also in the backs of the feet. And then eventually finding that downward facing dog and pedaling through the feet if you need to, adjusting the stance. And then eventually coming into your stillness. Pressing through the hands. Pelvis reaches up towards the sky. Gentle stretch through the backs of the legs. Your chin slightly tucked in towards your chest. And coming back towards your breath, just like we did at the beginning of our practice in our child's pose. We're then going to inhale the right leg up towards the sky, just to wherever is comfortable. See if you can keep that left heel pressing down towards the ground. And then bend the knee and open the hip. Maybe the gaze comes underneath that right armpit. And you might want to move the foot around, the free foot that is, so the right foot. And then slowly returning the leg down into a downward facing dog. Plant that right foot into the ground. Inhale, left leg up towards the sky. Pressing that right heel down to the ground. And then bend the knee, open the hip. Maybe the gaze comes underneath that left armpit. And then eventually lowering that left leg down and slowly walk yourself towards the top of the mat. Into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. So you can have the toes together, heels apart here, or you can have a bit of space between the feet. Taking as much of a bend into the knees as you need. Allow the belly to rest on the thighs. The head be heavy. You can shake the head no or yes. Maybe taking a ragdoll as you hold opposite elbows. And the shoulders might fall up towards the ears. And then taking an even deeper bend into the knees. Release the hands if you have the elbows and slowly roll through the spine as you bring yourself all the way up to standing. As you come to the top, inhale, reach tall. Exhale, hands into the heart center. Maybe close down the eyes for a second. Release the hands at the sides of the body. Taking this time to maybe set an intention for your practice, if that works for you. And then slowly opening up the eyes. And just if you're not quite at the top of your mat, just stepping forwards, toes together, heels apart. We're going to inhale to reach tall. Exhale, diving down into your Uttanasana, your forward fold. Inhale to a halfway lift, fingertips or shins. Exhale as you soften down. Stepping back with the left leg, lower the knee. Inhale to reach the arms up towards the ceiling or the sky. You want to be pressing into the top of that back foot. Take another inhale. Exhale as you frame that front foot, stepping back to find your downward facing dog. Taking a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the nose. Inhale high to the toes and then ripple forwards, finding a high plank here. Taking your inhale. Exhale to lower either through your knees, chest, chin, or if you feel up for it, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Look between the hands, step, jump or float to the top of the mat, inhaling to your halfway lift. Exhale, soften down over the legs. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. This bra really isn't the right bra for my microphone. Inhale to reach tall. Exhale, dive down, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips or shins. Exhaling to soften down. This time stepping back with the right leg, lower the knee down. We'll inhale to reach the fingertips towards the sky, pressing into the top of that back foot. Taking another inhale. Exhale, frame that front foot, tuck the back toes, step back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, high to toes, ripple forwards, find that high plank. Spreading those fingers wide, get ready to inhale, shift the weight over the fingertips. Exhale, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Looking between the hands, step, jump or float to the top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhaling, soften down. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. We'll take a full sun salutation A. Inhale, reach tall. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, jump or float through your knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Let's take 3 full breaths here. Inhaling for 1. Exhale, 1. Inhale, 2. Exhale, 2. Inhale, 3. Exhaling for 3. Inhale, look between the hands, step, jump or float, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, root to rise, sweep the arms high. Exhale, hands to heart center. We're going to inhale into our Utkatasana, our chair pose. Sit the pelvis low. And try and bring the biceps in line with the ears. You can bring the drishti down. See if you can sink a little bit lower, shifting the weight into the heels. Take 1 more to inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, softening down. Stepping back with the left leg. This time keeping the toes tucked and the back knee lifted. You're going to plant the weight into that front foot as we inhale, come up to find your high lunge. Try and keep that extension through the back leg. Taking a full inhale. You're going to bend that left elbow and reach for the left elbow with the right hand. Taking a little opening through that tricep. Keep the chest lifted. Slowly releasing, planting both hands to frame that front foot. You can grab blocks here if you need. You're going to take an inhale. And as you exhale, start to extend that front leg so you find a stretch through the hamstring. Keep drawing that right hip back and the left hip forwards. Inhale as you soften. Exhale, extend the leg. Inhaling to soften. Exhale, extend. Taking 1 more. Inhale, soften. Exhale, extend. And we'll be here for a few breaths. Allow the breath to lead you into that stretch. For some of you it may be quite intense, for others maybe not as intense. From here, see if you can plant the hands into the floor, keeping that right leg straight. You're going to press the ground away, engage the core and sweep that right leg up towards the sky. 3-legged dog, inhale. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Feel free to stay here or coming into your wild thing. So that foot drops down, the heart opens up towards the sky. Circling that right arm back to the ground. Let's find our high plank, inhaling. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Look between the hands, step, jump or float, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, we're going to come into our Utkatasana, back to our chair pose. Exhale, extend the legs, hands to heart center. Let's take the second side. If you need a breather, take a breather. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Sink the pelvis, biceps in line with the ears. Weight towards the heels. Take another inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, fingertips or shins. Exhaling to soften back. This time, right leg steps back. We keep the back leg extended. Bring the weight into that front foot. Inhale, high lunge. And then bending that right arm, reach for the right elbow. Take a gentle opening into the tricep. Keep the chest lifted. Stay with the breath. Take one more to inhale. As you exhale, release the arms, framing that front foot, grabbing blocks if you need. Inhaling. Exhale, extend the front leg. Drawing that left hip back, right hip forwards. Inhale as you soften into the front knee. Exhale, extend the front leg. Inhale, soften. Exhale, extend. One more, inhaling to soften. And exhale, extend. This time we're holding. Maybe close down the eyes if that works for you. Getting ready to plant those hands into the floor, keeping that front leg extended. The core engages, you press the ground away as you sweep that left leg towards the sky. Inhale, three-legged dog, and exhale to bend the knee, open the hip. Maybe staying here, maybe dropping that foot down into your wild thing. Take a little heart opener. Circling that left arm around, bring yourself back to your high plank. Inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Look between the hands, step, jump or float, top of the mat. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhale, soften down. Inhale, Utkatasana, your chair pose. Exhale, extend the legs, hands to heart center. And then releasing the hands down at the sides of the body. Gently close down the eyes if you need. A little rescan of the body here. Just take a couple of moments for yourself. And then gently opening up the eyes. Just adjust yourself, coming back to the top of the mat if you're a little bit down. Let's inhale, reaching tall. Exhale, diving down, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step, jump or float, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Let's inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest. Inhale, take it high. Exhale, this time knee in towards the chest, and then step the foot between the hands. Back foot turns out 45 degrees. We're going to inhale, warrior one. Try and keep the hips pointing forwards. Gaze comes towards the hands. And then gently releasing the hands. We're going to interlace behind the back of the body. Inhale to open up the heart. Exhale, send the crown of the head forwards and down. We're keeping that bend into the right knee. So we're coming into our humble warrior here. Draw that right hip in. Try not to let it stick out to the side. And release the interlace of the hands. We're going to inhale, bringing ourselves up into our Virabhadrasana 2, our warrior 2. So the back foot turns out a little further. So you want the outside edge of the back foot parallel to the back edge of the mat. We're still bending into that right knee. Palms face down, drishti down that right middle finger. Let's take an inhale, drop the back arm, reverse your warrior. Exhale, warrior 2. Extending that front leg, we're going to come into our Trikonasana. So from here, if you need to shorten your stance, which I will do, you can do that. You can bring that front foot in. And then reaching the right fingertips forwards, we start to bring it down. Send that left hip back. Gaze come towards that top hand. If you need a block here, you can place a block underneath that bottom hand, or you can keep it to the inside edge of the front foot. Or if you want to take your big toe, take your big toe. If you have a hold of that big toe, try not to press into the toe, instead pull away. I'm very guilty of pressing into the toe, so let's pull. And then reaching that left arm over the top, extend that stretch. Creates a nice deep stretch down the side of the body as well as in that front leg. And then from here, you're slowly gonna turn the torso down, bring that left hand to the inside edge of the front foot. Soften into that right knee. The right fingertips come up towards the ceiling. And then we're going to keep turning into our Vashisthasana, our side plank here. If you need to lower that bottom leg, you can do. Otherwise, keep pressing that right hip up towards the sky. Gaze towards the top hand. And then you might decide to reach that top hand over the top of the head. Slowly returning to a high plank. Let's inhale. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Taking a few breaths. Inhale for 1. Exhale 1. Inhaling 2. Exhale 2. Inhale 3. Exhale 3. Ready for our second side. Let's inhale, left leg this time. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, knee in towards the chest. Placing the foot between the hands, turn the back foot out roughly 45 degrees. Inhale, your warrior 1. Keeping those hips forwards, and you can probably hear children. And then slowly release the hands, interlace behind the back of the body. Let's inhale to open up the chest. Exhale, humble warrior. Crown of the head reaches forwards and down. We're keeping that left hip in, and the left knee coming forwards. Slowly releasing from your humble warrior, bringing yourself up, warrior 2. So that little adjustment of the back foot, palms facing down, drishti down that left middle finger this time. We're keeping that left knee coming forwards over the toe. Let's inhale to reverse, keeping that left knee bent. then slowly releasing. Extend that front leg. We're coming into our Trikonasana, so shortening the stance if you need. Arms reach out, palms face down. Let's reach the left fingertips forwards and then down towards the ground. Right fingertips towards the sky. Taking that, whatever hand placement works for you. So you can grab that big toe, you can grab a block, you can keep the hand to the inside edge of the front foot. Remembering if you take that toe, we're pulling up against the toe. From here, reach that right arm over the top. Deepen that stretch. And then we're going to bring that right hand to the inside edge of the front foot. We're coming onto the balls of the back foot, left fingertips reach towards the ceiling. And then keep transitioning into your Vashisthasana, your side plank. Keeping that left hip pointing towards the ceiling. Maybe the gaze comes towards the top hand. Maybe the top hand reaches over the head. From here, lower that left hand down, find your high plank, inhaling. Exhale, knees, chest, chin, chaturanga. Inhaling, up dog or cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. Coming back to your breath, 3 breaths. Inhaling for 1. Exhaling for 1. Inhaling for 2. Exhaling for 2. Inhaling for 3. Exhaling for 3. Inhale high to the toes. Exhale, ripple forwards all the way to your plank. Start to lower the pelvis past your plank. You come into that upward facing dog or lower down to a cobra if you need. Release the thighs, the fronts of the legs down towards the ground. Make sure there is space in the neck and the shoulders so you keep pressing the ground away with the hands. And then slowly lowering the torso all the way down. Rippling onto the belly and then onto the chest. I'm just going to remove my mic, otherwise you won't hear me. From here, you might decide just to lay the right or the left cheek down. And you can bring the arms down to the sides of the body with either the palms facing down at the mat or either the tops of the hands facing down with the palms up. It's up to you. You might decide to close down the eyes here. And if you're on one side of the face, just turning the head the other way. And when you're ready, you're going to find your Sphinx. So coming onto the forearms, I want you to think about drawing the elbows in towards you as you shine the chest forwards. The pubic bone presses into the ground, so the glutes slightly engage. They don't need to grip or tense, there's just an engagement. Shoulders fall away from the ears, chin is gently in towards the chest, and you might close down the eyes here. If you want to take it a bit deeper, you can send the hands out to the corners of the mat and extend the arms into your seal. Again, we maintain that space around the neck. In your own own time, slowly lowering down. And we're just going to press ourselves back into that child's pose, just like we started. So any variation that works for you. Toes together, knees wide, or we could have legs together, arms at the sides of the body, or reaching them forwards. Forehead might drop down to the mat or onto a block. You can close down the eyes here. And just start to maybe notice how your body feels now compared to how it did at the start. Coming back to that little scan through the body. And becoming aware of the face. You start with the eyes, into the cheeks and the jaw. Notice any differences here. And bringing yourself down into the neck, into the shoulders. Notice any differences here as well. And down into the chest, the lungs, the ribs, into the belly. Down to the hips. And just notice any differences in these areas of the body as well. And then into the thighs, the hamstrings, down into the knees, into the shins, the calves, into the ankles of the feet, the tops of the feet, the bottoms of the feet, and the toes. Just notice any differences here. And then bringing yourself back up to the shoulders and working your way down the arms. You've got the biceps and the triceps, the elbows, the forearms, the wrists and the fingers. And if you want to stay in your child's pose, you can stay in your child's pose. If it's more comfortable for you, you can slowly bring yourself back up and work your way onto your back. And feel free to take any movements, whatever position you're in, whether that be your child's pose or whether you've moved onto your back. We're just going to come into our relaxation, so into our Shavasana. Any Shavasana that works for you, any posture of rest. And as always, take your time getting into these positions. Feel free to take any twists through the body that might work for you at this moment. You're welcome to stay here for as long as you like. Obviously, we're online. You can turn me off, maybe fallen asleep. Who knows? But whatever your decision, if you'd like to join me, let's slowly bring some movement back into the body. You can give the head a roll, move the fingers, move the toes, maybe take the arms above the head, taking a stretch. Maybe planting the feet into the floor. if you're on your back. And just eventually bringing yourself up to any comfortable seated position. Cross-legged or kneeling. If you need to jump onto a cushion, you can do, cushion or a block. Bringing the hands to the lap or the knees, closing the eyes. And bringing the palms of the hands together into the heart center. Bowing the head, namaste. Thank you if you joined me for this class. I hope it was okay. I realized as I was going it was actually quite intense, which sometimes we just need. But if you did like this this little online class, please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll hopefully be bringing a few more classes to you. I hope I can get a bit more consistent with them again. Otherwise, take care of yourself and enjoy the rest of your day, your evening, whatever it is that you're doing.